Greetings, gamer guys and gals. I'm Zeake, welcoming you to the 18th part of my Let's Play Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. Let's get started. Chapter 17. Day Breaks. Phoenicius Hall. Is that it?
Wait, there's more. It seems that Prince Rysson was able to escape Duke Tanis' villa and make his way safely to Serenes Forest. However, we have word that Tanis' men have entered the forest in hopes of recapturing the prince. We've not a moment to waste. Please, O King of Hawks, reach out your mighty talons, strike down these wretched humans, and rescue Prince Rysson. I implore you, your majesty, take wing at once.
Why is Naysala not here?
That, His Highness must not be seen here at this time.
What's going on, you old buzzard? King Kilvis is the White Prince's friend, isn't he?
Well, how do I put this? It's very complicated.
I care not for excuses. If anything happens to Rysson, blood will be spilled.
Oh no, please. There's no cause for worry. Duke Tanis treats his works of art with a delicacy so extreme that it could be called abnormal. He would never let any harm befall Prince Rysson. He probably can't even bring himself to touch him. The king himself told me so. That is the only reason he accepted this proposal.
Proposal?
What I mean is,
Hold it. You crows set up the prince?
Set up? No. Well, not exactly. Please don't hurt me.
So that's the truth of it, eh? Naysala treated Rysson like a piece of merchandise and sold him to a human?
No, that's not. The only one who referred to him as merchandise was Duke Tanis. We never...
It doesn't matter. Claiming ignorance does not grant you innocence. You treated Rysson like a trinket in a public market.
Oh dear.
If Rysson hadn't escaped on his own, perhaps the Crow King would have rescued him when things cooled down. Regardless, Rysson trusted in his friend and followed him into the trap, and Naysala spit on that friendship. That I cannot forgive.
Your assessment of this old bird is correct. I'm a worm, nothing more. But please, I beg of you, temper your outrage. Let it be cool.
You're unbelievable. What is it with you crows anyway? Everything you do is so dirty and deceptive. We will never understand your ways. Do you hear me, Grey Wings?
I hear you well, young hawk. But our nation has its own issues. Please, this is not the time to yell at a tired old man. You must hurry to Prince Rysson's side. Once he is safe, you can punish me in any way that you see fit. Tear me limb from limb if you wish. But please go to Prince Rysson. I beg of you.
This begging is unseemly and unwanted. We would rescue Rysson regardless of this pathetic show of tears. Return to Kilvis and report these events to your accursed king. Tell him that when this is over, King Tibarn of Phoenicius will be paying him a visit.
Yes, your highness.
I know he deserves it, but I still feel bad for badgering the old coot. Your Majesty, what will we do now? Alki, use your ears to pick out the sound of Rysson's wings, then tell me the direction from which it comes. At once. Janoff, use your eyes to peer between the trees and find me a road. You got it. Human scum. If you think to replay that night from 20 years ago, you'll get no quarter from me. Not a dime, not a nickel either. Maenal Cathedral. Is that you, Soren? You're up so early. Actually, I'm always awake at this time. Really? Yes, you're the one who's up earlier than normal. I want to finish our mission today. I think my nervous energy woke me up. I understand. The last 2 days spent searching Serenes Forest for that Heron have been frustrating and fruitless. I'm sure he's in there somewhere, but I agree, and Duke Tanis's men are still hunting away. They must think the Heron is there as well. The only place left is the forest heart. That's where we should go today. With luck, we may finally locate our target. I get the feeling it's going to be a long day. I get the feeling you're going to be right about that. Ike, I'd like to report the results of our last battle. 35,000 gold. Woo! The apostle pays well. I wish she would employ me. I'm looking for a good full-time 35,000 gold paying job. MVP Oscar, good, and a new ally. There were no deaths and no injuries beyond our capabilities to heal. Everyone performed exceedingly well. That is all. By your leave, I will excuse myself. Okay, let's go to info. Commander Ike, a priest from Duke Tanis's villa insists on speaking with you. Yes, what is it? Master Mercenary, it is my understanding that you pursue Duke Tanis. I hear that you are searching Serenes Forest in hopes of capturing him. And if I am? Duke Tanis's property borders the forest, and he knows much about its layout. For quite some time now, he's been sending men into the forest to look for any Herons who may still live there. I see. So you're saying that this troop knows the forest well. I, too, have been taken into the forest. You? Why take a priest? He thought that Herons would make themselves known if a priest called to them. He's also taken dozens of chaste maidens and tried having them call to the Herons as well. But he didn't find any, did he? No, and yet this time, the joy he expressed after paying such an exorbitant price for the Serenes Royal was abhorrent. It was not natural. The Duke has gone mad. To think that he would dare to defy the Apostle. He is damned. And here you stand. You're going to tell me what you remember about the forest, even though it means you're betraying Tanis, right? You read me well. To begin with, the heart of the forest was divided into 3 large sections, maybe more. It was nearly colorless and difficult to see far. The muddy floor pulled at our feet, and progress was slow. Many of the soldiers around me were afraid that they didn't bring enough supplies. They said a person would need them if he got lost, because getting out again would be no easy task. What can you tell me about Duke Tanis's forces? There was a lot of them. He had soldiers of every type. It was said that his mounted units and magic users were especially powerful. So at the very least, you should be prepared to deal with those 2 troops. Thank you. My parents. They both participated in the Serenes massacre. They're rearing the ends of their lives. But even now, they lie awake at night and beg the goddess for forgiveness. I became a priest in order to help my parents. But then I was assigned to work at Duke Tanis's villa. I knew of his horrible deeds, but his position as an imperial senator frightened me. I have been silent for far too long. Master Mercenary, you must rescue that Serenes youth, I beg of you. May the goddess guide your hand. Don't worry, I have no intention of letting that villain steal him from before my very eyes. Here you are. We've been in Degnion for a while now, so tell me something. Why are you still here? Are you pretending to be our friend so you can lance us in the back? You have to understand, I didn't know anything. I was born and raised in the Talrega region of Dayan. It's a very remote area. My father was a soldier, and I grew up thinking that I, too, would one day be a soldier to make my father proud. My life was simple. I questioned nothing, doubted nothing. Do you know the first thing we're taught in Dayan schools? Subhumans are evil. Subhumans are the enemy. Subhumans must be eradicated. The army stages periodic subhuman hunts. We'd find refugees from Begnion hiding in our mountains and forests. You participated? You don't get it. That's just how things are in Dayan. No one taught me the word Leguz. No one taught me that subhumans could be like this. No one cared. When I saw the bird tribes at sea, I was convinced that the teachings were true. They were inhuman monsters. But later I saw the dragons push your ship off the reef, and it confused me. What if I had been raised to believe a lie? My heart pounded at the thought of it, and my doubts only grew with time. So you decided to remain aboard in order to ascertain the truth. That's your true motive, isn't it? How did you know? I've known a lot of soldiers, and none would ever accept charity from an enemy. It would wound their pride. You obviously have pride to spare, so I knew there was some other factor at play. Oh. Well, have you reached a conclusion? What will you do? I want to stay here. At first I thought I could protect my old life, that I could prove the subhumans were monsters. But I was wrong, and now things are different. The I'm sorry. The Legus. I want to know the truth about them. And I need to base that on what I see, not what I am told by others. In that case, you can stay as long as you like. I appreciate it. I think meeting all of you was a very good thing. La 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 la. Hey there, you have a minute? Oh, Captain, how are you today? It's Commander, not Captain. Well, you seem to be enjoying yourself. That's because this garden is so pretty. Devdan loves all plants and flowers. How about you, Commander? They're all right, I suppose. That makes Devdan rather sad. All right is not a very strong feeling. It is boring. You should be a more emotional commander. Even things you're used to will show you something new if you look hard enough, and discoveries are exciting. That's what life is all about. At least, that's what Devdan thinks. Some disagree, and that makes Devdan upset. You may be onto something. In Crimea, when my father was still alive, I think I was more open to such things. But now I just don't have the time. Honestly, all I can think about is defeating Dayan. I've no energy left to spend on flowers. If you talk like that, you will never defeat Dayan. What did you say? The war is new. If you are already so focused on preparations, you'll wear out before the fighting begins. Hold on a minute. Interesting thought there. Ike and Soren can finally reach a B rank. Do you have a second, Soren? What is it, Ike? What's wrong? You've been quiet and moody for days. What's going on? Well, it's... Yes? It's nothing. You've never worried about who you are, have you? Your family? Where you come from? Who I am? Well, not really, no, but I guess I don't understand what you're getting at. I had a father and a mother. I don't remember much about her, but otherwise no complaints. It must be nice to have loving parents. You need people to experience your childhood, to help shape the person you will become. Without an adult around to affirm and support them, a child can't know which path to take, or who he really is. See, now this is being kind of subversive here. This should say, without both parents around. Don't you have any memory of your parents? No, the woman who raised me was not my birth mother, and she wasn't all that fond of me anyway. My earliest memories are of her saying, "Why me? The world isn't fair," or "Stay away from me, child." No love, no affection. She took care of me out of some sense of duty that she didn't really possess. When I was about 4, a nearby sage came by and asked to take me in. He said I possessed rare magical talent. I remember the day clearly. My caretaker was delighted to give me up. In fact, she seemed almost delirious with pleasure, smiling like a madwoman as she handed me over. The sage even gave her gold as compensation. Not that it was necessary. Oh, Soren, I had no idea. The sage was old, and knew that death would come soon for him. His only goal was to teach his art to an apprentice. As time was short, he put me through terribly rigorous magic training. We worked day and night, without cease. I didn't even have time to think about who I really was, but it was still a better life than I had ever known. When the sage died 2 years later, I had acquired much magical skill, perhaps too much for a child of my age. At any rate, once I had eaten all of the food in the sage's hovel, I left and walked for days to find help. Upon reaching civilization, I came to another grim realization. I couldn't speak, not a word. Soren. Oh, I could read and write better than most of the villagers, and I could understand what they said. I just couldn't talk. I couldn't help it. The woman and the sage both used to hurl words at me, unkind words, usually, but I never needed to answer, so... Soren. Huh? Oh, I apologize, Ike. I should not have made you listen to such nonsense. Soren, it's not nonsense. It's awful. It's the most terrible thing I've ever heard. Where did this happen? Was it in Begnion? No, but there's more I haven't told you about my parents. No, that's enough. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Wait, Soren. Soren! Blast! Alright. I think that's about it for support for now. We do have some bonus EXP, and it would be nice to have Oscar and Marcia promoted. What I could do... Yeah, we're going to go ahead and at least promote Oscar here. And here we go. Class change. And Oscar is now a paladin. With some pretty fantastic stats. And we get the choice of using sword, axe, or bow. Now for me, whenever I have a lance knight or axe knight, I don't see a point in giving them lances or axes also. I could give him a sword so that he would have an advantage over axes, but I actually want to give him a bow. I've always given Oscar bows, partially due to the fact that him and his two brothers can use a special attack if they all have bows. However, since I'm not using Rolf, that really doesn't matter. But again, I still want to give him a bow. Alright, and now we can see about promoting Marcia. We might just be able to do that. Alright, she capped speed. And yes, we can exactly do that. Class change Marcia from a Pegasus Knight to... Not much of a change there. A Falcon Knight. And some pretty decent stats at that. She'll be mighty useful. Interestingly enough, I think the rest of our bonus EXP from now for quite a bit is not going to actually get used. I'm going to be keeping it for specific purposes. I do have Gamble, which is a pretty novel skill, to be honest, and I actually think we're just going to go ahead and sell it. I don't really see a point in particularly having it. We do have a little bit of a lengthy resupply right now. So we're going to go ahead and take care of that. I have to be pretty careful about these upcoming chapters because the issue is that you'll see. Basically, for the next couple of quote-unquote chapters, we are not going to be able to supply after this moment, so you kind of want to be wary of that. Yeah, I think we'll just sell that fire. We don't need it. Ah, we got the full guard. An item that, when equipped, negates any bonus damage a weapon might have dealt. This is very useful for Marcia. Would not like her to be defeated by a stray arrow. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and give Ike... Let's see what we have in the convoy first. We do have a steel sword, and then we can just go ahead and buy him an iron sword. Yeah, we don't have anything we can give her quite yet. But we could... Yeah, we do have the ability to buy a steel blade. However, it's kind of really weighty. So we'll just get her an iron blade. And let's see what we have here. Killer Axe could be fun. Yeah, we are going to bring Volk as a means of storage for our stuff, per se. Alright, so we're going to buy a couple of wind tomes. And give him this heal staff for the time being. Volk does have a men's staff, which might end up going to Soren if he were to use that heal staff up, but I doubt that that's going to happen, so I don't think we have much to worry about in that realm. Alright, so we're actually going to get rid of that and give him a bow. Soren could definitely use a bit more luck. I think that would be useful. Alright, so Seraph Knights can actually use swords. Only thing is, though, is that she can only use iron swords, so we're going to have to forge her one. Let's make it pretty decent, too. And we will call this sword the Galatine. Let's give it a gold sheen. Won't be using Mordecai this section, or Devdan. Alright, Marcia definitely needs her full guard. And let's see who could use that Draco shield. Mist would appreciate it, but she's not really a frontliner. I'm thinking Boyd. Oh, we already put it in the convoy. Alright. Okay, so I think we're pretty well set on weapons and items and everything that we could possibly need. And what I basically did here was I gave everybody pretty much a full inventory of decent and useful weapons. The thing is that there are going to be weapons that are dropped. And because we will not have a convoy, we will not have a way to get those weapons back. So some of these units, like for instance, I'm actually going to have to take off some of their weapons. This Lagoon Slayer is just not useful right now. I think we'll actually get rid of the Killer Axe. I was thinking about that just a moment ago, and it's very likely that I'm going to find myself needing more space than what I'm giving myself right now. So let's go ahead and just figure that out before we go into the map. Yeah, that's a little bit better. Yeah, so those items will be useful later, obviously, but you have to be really careful because there are droppable weapons and items, and you don't want to just throw it all away. Serenes Forest. I believe this is the place where we ended our search yesterday. I realized something a couple of days ago. Even in this forest, you always know exactly where you are, don't you? How do you do that? I think it's the lack of color, but these woods are starting to look the same to me. Yes, that's a problem. Ike, we're approaching a large clearing. I think we should have the Apostle and some of the others wait here. Good idea. Even if we find the Heron today, there's no need for them to tramp through the forest with us. We're going to head deeper into the forest and continue the search. Please wait here. If we find the Heron, we'll send for you immediately. I understand, my Lord Ike. Everyone, please be careful. We're counting on you. Sigrun, Tanith, why may I entrust the princess to your care? Of course. You've no need to worry. We will protect her with our lives. Very well. Until later. Serenes Forest. All right, Grail mercenaries, move out. Gah, haven't you fools found my precious little bird yet? I've no doubt the poor thing is even now quivering with loneliness and cold. Duke Tanis, I've just received word that the mercenaries who invaded your villa are in this forest. Blast those wretches. They are here to steal my bird. Their souls are black with greed and jealousy. I have found beauty incarnate, and I will not relinquish it. Only I, Duke Tanis, can appreciate its worth. I'm sure that's true, Your Grace, but what about the mercenaries? What should we do about them? Hunt them down like dogs. Let none leave this forest alive. They will not rob me of my prize. But, Your Grace, they serve at the pleasure of the Apostle herself. Striking them would be... Leave the Apostle to me. I can deal with her once this is finished. All I need from you is silence and obedience. Is that clear? Yes, Your Grace. I beg your pardon. There they are. Do as Duke Oliver commanded. Slay them where they stand. Let none leave the forest alive. Not man, woman, or child. Oh, not the Duke's soldiers again. I think it's about time we put an end to these fools. Listen up, everyone. Let's end this here. All right. don't need you south. Pretty sure that's good enough. All right, I think that's fair, and we can just move on from now. Miletus. Yeah, I got an antitoxin here, a killer lance. This is the faceless, nameless boss of this part of this chapter. Yeah, that's all that's dropping here. This chapter, chapter 17, technically is in multiple parts. So, and because you can reinforce with units that you wouldn't even use. Like, for instance, I could have items and stuff like that on Mordecai or whatever and reinforce with him. And let's say a couple of parts down the road, I have too many items on some of my units, I could reinforce and just throw items on them too. So that's an idea. We don't really have to worry about that per se right now, but let's just move on. All right, our lovely Marcia, first fight, promoted. And she's breaking expectations. All right. And use our last ward. All right, 7 movement. Give her a wonderful physic. And we can take this guy out with a bow. Very convenient. Yeah, most of the enemies in this chapter have... Well, I can't say most, but some of them have venom weapons, which are just poisonous weapons. If they hit you with them, you'll be poisoned. Antitoxins can cure that, and so can the restore staff. But it's kind of a very negligible status because it doesn't do much damage. It's not really something to worry about, in my opinion. Alright, I do believe they reinforce down here. That is something we could leave Titania here for. We shall see. And this chapter is Route, and you can basically finish this chapter, or at least this part of this chapter, in such a quick manner if you've got plenty of mounted units and you're using them to their fullest. I Legue's bow, but I have no Legues for you to shoot at, unfortunately. All right, finish off Mr. Legue's bow. And Soren putting work in for us. Alright, so one thing we could do... Oh, this won't finish. Unfortunate. Well, we could do this. It might be that the Dagdar sword here is going to end up trading hands over to Mist. Maybe. Oh, she's already at a C rank. When did that happen? Must have been when I wasn't looking. Alright. If that's the case, then I'm probably... I'd give her the Dagdar sword if she ran out. Because then she would have no way to defend herself during these chapters. That was the plan in my head originally, but... because she needs a forge. She can't really reliably defeat anybody without a forge. Oh, that's really unfortunate. Goodbye, my friend. Or my enemy, whatever you like to call yourself. Gone you are, and moving on I am. Very typical warrior Boyd level. Strength and HP. I cannot say I'm surprised. Nothing to steal. A little bit of chip for our friend Titania here. I do believe you do get reinforcements at the bottom. I could not be for sure on that one. But just in case, I am going to throw Titania down south and leave her there, sort of like how I left Marcia in the back last chapter. She was pretty invaluable at that, too. Nice hit. Not nice enough, unfortunately. That javelin of yours is just not cutting it. Yeah, as I figured. Yeah, none of my other units would personally like to deal with them, so... especially that killing edge Myrmidon. Pretty decent chip damage. And we can finish you off. Nice crit. Very nicely appreciated. Yeah, let's take him out with the Galatine. It does look nice with that Pegasus, that's for sure. It wasn't much of a threat though, because my only unit weak to him is no longer weak to him. How about we heal? And a crit. Very nice, Oscar. And that's our turn. No crit for you. Pretty awesome. We'll be taking you out next phase. Nice counter there. And a guard. Procs both are skills in the same turn, and neither of them were useful. Yeah, there's some reinforcements to take care of. We should be completing this in like a turn. Hopefully a turn. Yeah, most likely. Finish off this killing edge. And take out this mage. Very nice crit. I do absolutely appreciate when we don't have to suffer any kind of a counterattack. Alright, we do have one unit we could heal. Now, the cool thing about physics is because they're a range staff, and the staff depends on your range divided by 2, or your magic divided by 2 for the range. Mist has a 10 space radius of wherever she is being able to heal any of our allies, basically to full. I do believe the boss is stationary. That's to be decided. Alright, Marsha, hurry up and finish off this mage so we can get on with it. We have a long night to go. Quite a large fight as well. It's very interesting. It's not showing that he has effective damage against her. Is it because she's a Valkyrie? I know there's something interesting like that in Fire Emblem 7, I believe, where none of the nomadic units are considered mounted. Or is that Fire Emblem 6? It's really silly in either way. Well, let's see who is the better archer here. I'd give you a hint, but I think we all already know. Very nice. Ooh, good miss. I have not been poisoned at all this chapter. That's very unusual. And a guard. Don't think he was attacking after that hit Titania, but good going. And we have her at level 10. Impressively bad level, too. It'd be a different story if that magic had an extra 10 or so points in it, where she could actually take advantage of it, but nah. I don't even think there's a single paladin in this game who gets decent enough magic to use a magical weapon. Alright, so we have 2 enemies left to defeat, and a few left to fight them. Alright, Mia, you can take out this guy. I say that, but you actually can't. And you did anyway. Subverting expectations in the best way possible. And level 3 already. Awesome. Okay, we do way too much damage to that guy. Our very first level as a Falcon Knight, and a very good one at that. Appreciated. Alright, so let's trade over your items. Heal up with the mend. And finalize this part of the chapter with our bow, Miletus. Gone he went. A killer lance will come in handy. Curses. They just keep coming. How many soldiers does he have? There's no telling. He is a bishop and a senator, and he holds peerage. And that means he could command many men. Commander, what do you think about calling in reinforcements? That's not a bad idea, and while we wait, we could take a breather and reorganize our attack strategy. Let's do it. Alright, so that was Chapter 17, Day Breaks, Part 1. Stage 1. However they say it. I'll see you next time.